Yes, people. What is good? You know what time it is? It is Thursday. So it's Prem Panel time. We got the full panel in the building. What's going on, boys? KG, George, Aaron, Lewis, what's happening?
I think one of us isn't good.
One of us is just he's like,
oh man. And to be fair, we're gonna have to start there as well. But first of all, people, love as always. Make sure you smash the like button on your way in or out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. In the description, there's all the boys' links to their socials and their channels as well. Make sure you go give us a follow and a subscribe as well. Unfortunately, Cal won't be with us today. You know what I mean? So Cal will be missing, but we've got a full panel of guests on, which I'm always excited about. So boys, what we're going to do, we're going to chop up the Chelsea situation because, you know, we have to talk about it. We'll touch on this new Super League stuff. It's not official yet, but we'll just touch on what we've heard. And then obviously we'll get into the predictions for the games. And unfortunately, actually, no, you seem actually quite cool about KG. We'll talk about Bielsa leaving, but what might be happening as well, because you haven't seemed as upset as I thought you would be. So we'll obviously chop that up as well and get into that, get your feelings on that. But we've got to start with the we've got to start
Take
with the
that medal
carefree.
down. Take the flag down.
Yeah, because you know a lot about medals, don't you? Don't we all?
Oh, the back and forth has started. The back and forth has started.
I have to be on the defensive. I'm on a Liverpool channel, innit?
Yeah,
It's what it is.
No. Come on. You know, but bro, look, after the look, I didn't even say we're gonna touch on a certain final at the weekend because we're friends here. You're our boy, bro. Come on, we're not gonna do that to you, bro. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, let's get into it, bro. Let's get into it. Obviously, as a resident Chelsea guy, you're the one who will know more about it or have more feelings on it. It's official. The club are up for sale now. He said he's going to give all the profit from the sale, you know, obviously to a foundation helping with the war, and he's writing off the 1.5 billion debt that you obviously owed him from all the investment he put in over the years. But before we get into that, bro, just let me know how you're feeling in general, because I've seen some Chelsea fans that actually don't really like him. A lot of things that he's done over the past with like your pitch and your stadium. And there's a few things that have made people have a bit of animosity. But then there's people who love him and adore the fact that he's the reason why Chelsea have won what they've won. And he was an owner that was a fan at the same time. So where are you sitting on the fence with this one, Lewis?
Any fan that has any sort of dismay towards Abramovich is... I don't even know where to start with them, innit? It's like, I can't even believe people like that exist. People say Abramovich is the reason why we're up there, and he is. So it is what it is on that front. I actually can't... I'm still struggling to process it, you know? Like,
Real
the guy...
talk, yeah?
We expected Abramovich was going to fucking give the club up to his son when he was done and he wanted to retire. Like, this was going to be Abramovich's club, not just for a few years, but probably for at least the next 50 or something. And now it's all happened so suddenly, which is in typical Chelsea fashion. Everything's quick like that. But yeah, Abramovich is selling up, guys. I never expected this shit. Everyone's taking the piss, and I'm not surprised. Chelsea in the mud and all of that, but it really isn't that deep. I think whatever owner we have, we're going to be in safe hands. We're not turning into Berry. The only thing I'd be worried about is if it's an owner that's got no ambition. That's it, really.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I never wanted to be in this club, and here we are.
I secretly hope your next owner is American, so you lot can feel the pain.
Well, that's the interesting news. It's supposedly an American-Swiss consortium that's buying them.
Oh, God forbid.
Oh,
this whole week has been L after L after L after L. More L's in a fucking town in Wales, bro. It's fucking peak. So peak, man. You got this, the Carabao Cup final, which is literally just no one was missing until we got to fucking Kepa. I don't even know how we got to that. And even Christensen's leaving. The week just stinks. That is what it is.
Well, the week in the life of a Chelsea fan. I mean, to be fair, bro, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you lot feel in terms of, you know, the whole American owner thing, but I feel like the one thing you always know when you have American owners, though, is they're so good business-wise that you will always be in good hands in terms of your finances will never be like you know, you're not always looking over your
Really
shoulder
worried
thinking,
about
what's going to
bankrupt.
happen, and rare. So that's one thing I will give them credit for, that they are always making sure that the club are running okay in that regard. And let's be honest as well, Chelsea have a self-sustaining model now, Lewis, where you've got such a good way of making money through all the youth players and all that. Do you think you'll be hit as badly? I know you're not going to be able to compete with the new boys, Newcastle and Man City, but you'll still be able to compete with the Liverpools and the Tottenhams and stuff, surely, because you still got a good model of how to sell players and buy players, right?
Yeah, that's why it's really not as deep as people make it out to be. Like, the number one thing, yeah, we're going to miss him. It's still heartbreaking and all of that. What was it? The only thing that I'm worried about is the same thing I said already, the ambition of the new owners. I think Chelsea are already a self-sustaining club. We make most of the money for transfers off the TV money, the money we make from the position we finish in the league, trophies on top of that. We always seem to get trophies. The loan army, between sales and loan fees as well, it all combines, and that's where we make most of our money to actually buy players. We're more of a self-sustainable club anyway, so I'm not worried about Chelsea's position now. In terms of the future, it all really depends on whoever the next owner is. Like, it could be something good, it could be something shit. I don't think it's going to be anything like Abramovich. I don't think anyone's going to have the same level of motivation for trophies and just love for the club that Abramovich had for Chelsea. To me, he was the best club owner in world football, and I don't think you're going to I don't think you're going to find close to that. But we can find a good owner, and I don't think, regardless, we're going to be in a position where we're going to be in mid-table or lower mid-table or some shit like that. I don't think that's going to happen. It's just like you said. What's the ambition of the new owners? Do they want Chelsea to be for profit, or do they actually want to make the club successful as well? And we won't know that until we get a new owner, so it's just speculation.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, we got any super chats before I get the panel's view? Because I think I saw one that was actually a question for Lewis.
We do, yeah, we got a few. NGA Katsande says, need all of you guys to get sturdy if United don't get top four. If you don't know, it's New York drill dance.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that personally. Dan, if you know what the New York drill dance is?
I think he's saying if Man United don't get top four, he wants us all to do some like pop smoke dance on the.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Baby Assassin. Big at yourself. He says it's a sad day for Chelsea. #Envenera. Truly, I love this guy as an owner. Ambitious, run the club as a fan. Wouldn't swap him over an owner worth 500 billion. Crying emojis. 2 of them.
Jeez.
And so much legend says at KG. I wonder what Bielsa's translator will do now. Maybe translate what most English players talk in interviews. I can't comprehend what they all say anyway. Good. I swear, good to Leeds. Hope they will pull through.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously we'll touch on the Leeds stuff afterwards, but I did feel it for him. I don't know if that was just me being stupid, but when I heard it, I was like, "Shit, what's the translator gonna do?" Like,
don't worry about him. We won't go into it yet, but he's a full-time analyst of football. He's an analyst.
Okay.
He's a first team, so he'll go somewhere else. Yeah, he's good.
I'm actually happy to hear that, because I did think, like, obviously I know he can get a translating job, but I thought that was his main gig. I was thinking, shit, he's really like lost his job here. But
he's big into first team analytics, so he's going to be fine.
Cool.
And Mario Pilavas says Chelsea will be on West Ham's level financially.
Oh, I mean, all right.
Yeah. All right. No one of them you don't even need to rise to. Cool. A club that won less than us before Abramovich even joined us. Cool.
So I mean, who wants to go first on what they feel about this Abramovich situation? I'm never going to pick. Who's more biting at the bit to talk about it?
I just got one point to make. It's just that I think Chelsea will be fine, but it's just that they won't have an owner next that will spend like Abramovich, because he did spend like a fan of the club. I think the next owner they'll get will be rich. They're going to have to buy the club, but I don't think they're going to be injecting funds like Abramovich did for the club.
No more 100 million Lukaku's, which is probably a good thing for most Chelsea fans. But
let's go.
but
then again, but Lewis, you paid for Lukaku with the player sales, though, right? Like that wasn't even funding. You actually made money from Tammy and all those boys. So you could effectively still do that, right?
That's why I'm not really worried. Like, it's just very uncertain what the future of the club's going to be. But in terms of Chelsea now, not worried. In terms of summer transfer window, I'm not worried. I think we're going to be able to make enough money through player sales to be able to do that. And there's meant to be a few big name players that are meant to be leaving in the summer anyway. So we will have money.
It's not like you need that many players anyway. So
exactly. We've got like 3 squads worth of players. Yeah. So there's definitely money to be made off that. In terms of next season, like, it all depends on who the owner is. Really does. And then that's just all speculation. And I don't even know the answers to that. So to me, it's like, what am I worrying about it? Right now, we're fine. We're champions of Europe, Club World Cup champions, 2021 Club of the Year. It's just been a bit of an L this week. Here's one.
No, I hear that. This one thing I'll say about Chelsea. This one thing I said about Chelsea. Lewis is right in terms of right now they're fine. They're not going to go into the abyss because Abramovich is selling. No, it's not going to happen. And whoever buys Chelsea are going to have to front up the money anyway to show that they can at least keep them at a steady level. Here's the thing, though. I kind of exactly agree with what Kagey said, because Abramovich spent like he loved the club, like genuinely, like he's just a fan.
That's why he's not asking for his loan back.
Exactly. That's exactly that was going to be my next point. What kind of like millionaire / billionaire can just say, "Yeah, don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about that. Like, we'll just, I don't even care about that." That says to me he loves the club dearly, and he wasn't really concerned about the financial outlay that it made him. He was more concerned of, I just want to see my team win. This is where it gets techie, because in my opinion, he was an anomaly. I don't think you will ever find an owner in world football like a Roman Abramovich, because you've got all these other owners, maybe even a Man City. They could be probably the closest, maybe, because they kind of would give Pep majority of.
I feel like they do love the club.
Yeah,
I do feel like
I think they do.
Oh yeah, they spent like 600 million on defenders.
But in terms of no, agreed. But in terms of in what Chelsea have been doing for over the years, he's just literally been like, well, if it ain't working, I'm gonna try something else. All right, let me just open my bank account. Let me open up the checkbook and write. What do you need, manager? What do you need? Like, whatever manager's been there, he pretty much says, "What do you need?" And it's very rare for an owner to do that. Normally, there's like, the purse strings can be a bit tight and whatever. He gives you everything to succeed. I don't think they will ever find another owner like that. Doesn't mean say that Chelsea are going to be in the mud. They won't be. What it is though, their expectation of buying players that are £100 million or whatever might have to go down ever so slightly. And all like even wages and stuff like that might have to be cut back. Like, not right now, but just down the line, because the outlay won't be as big, in my opinion. I don't think you'll find the owner like that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, let me flip it on his head, Aaron. I'm going to come to you on this one. They've got a culture at Chelsea, because he's a fan and wants to win, where they've just chopped and changed managers and you get no time. Could this be a good thing? Because stability is one thing that we can say Chelsea haven't had in terms of like a regular thing. They've had stability in terms of they always win stuff. But there are some Chelsea fans, and I think they're the ones who have a problem with Abramovich, that there's no family feeling at Chelsea. There's no love. It is just like that real cutthroat. Let's just win. We have a manager and we know we'll be gone in 18 months. We don't even get time to get to love him, kind of thing. And they'll look at other clubs and they'll look at that love. Like when I'm seeing those players hugging Bielsa, for example, and Klopp, and and they'll see that family feeling, and they might be like, you know what? I kind of want my club to have that, where I know the manager's going to be here. Flipping it. Could this be better for Chelsea if it goes that direction?
Only if they hire the right people. Let's say another manager comes in after Tuchel, and the board tells the fans that they need to be patient, etc., etc. I don't know if Chelsea fans have experience with being patient with managers, but maybe they're just gonna have to learn it. Maybe when Chelsea fans expect a manager to get sacked, it might not be the case, and they'll have to learn to be patient with a certain manager. But I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact. I think Chelsea will be fine, man. I think they're just going to have to learn a few things here and there. Like I said, i.e. be patient with a certain manager. like you said, expectations of buying £100+ million players is going to have to go down. You're going to have to be content with buying maybe players under a certain amount, let's say 60, 70 million, maybe use the youth a bit more. But overall, I think they'll be fine, man. It's just going to be a question of getting used to little things here and there.
Cool. And I don't know who wants to take. I'll give this one to KG. A couple people have even said in the chat, 3 billion. That ain't no mug's change. That is a lot of money. Not even taking a piss here. Like I'm being genuine. Are Chelsea worth 3 billion to a potential owner in terms of the revenue they'll make back and how big of a project that has to be? Because you look at a Man United, for an example, and they make so much money. If you buy that club, you're going to make your money back. Did Chelsea have that financial pool around the world for £3 billion to be worth somebody spending to buy the club?
Oh, I don't know, because that's a tough question. I think that's better for Lewis to answer because, Leeds recently have been valued at something like 430 million and we haven't done nothing. So if you're talking about 3 billion for a club that's very successful, based in London, which is always a big pull, maybe they are. I don't know. Lewis is probably the best person to ask on that one.
We're worth 10 billion.
That's why I didn't want to ask you, because I know I'm gonna get an emotional response. Do you get what I mean?
That's just not necessary. That's just not necessary.
Wait, director, allow it, please, man. Come on, director, man. Come on.
Producer. Yeah, no, like I said, that's why I didn't want to ask this, because I know it's going to be an emotional response. Do you know what I mean? I want it. All right, you're from London as well, George. So obviously, you know the London Pool. Yeah. You've got the massive stadium that now brings you that.
Our owners value us at 3 billion. I don't know.
Right.
Like the same thing, which is just ridiculous. That's why we're not going to get sold, though. So
no, but here's the thing, though, bro. I know Tottenham aren't worth as much as Chelsea in terms of what you've won and your prestige and your fan base around the world. That is true. But then if you do look at stuff that can take you forward, you now have the ability to mix with America, put on NFL games, do certain things. Your stadium is now the most beautiful stadium in the world almost. You can start hosting events. I think eventually you might get a sponsorship like Real Madrid, where your stadium becomes the place to hold events in London. There is room for you lot to be worth that much in what your value could be in the future. So how do you feel about the whole 3 billion for Chelsea being in London with a small stadium and that kind of thing?
Well, I don't know if it's I don't know if I'm correct in thinking this, but if he's writing off the 1.5, wouldn't they just need to buy 5 billion then in that case? Because normally when you're buying a club, you buy the debt and the value of the company. And if he's effectively saying he's writing off the debt, then theoretically they would only have to pay 1.5 bill, which isn't.
Well, that's where the confusion is, because they're still saying it's 3 billion, even though we said he'll write off the debt. So that's where the confusion is at the moment. Of exactly what it is. Lewis, I know you're going to be emotional, but I'll just ask you this one then before we move on. Do you think somebody will be willing to pay 3 billion for Chelsea in the time frame you have? Because remember, the clock is ticking. He ain't got time to wait. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, because I do think this sort of thing takes time. I don't think we're going to be sold in a matter of days. I don't think we're going to be on this show next week and Chelsea will have a new owner. So if time runs out and Roman's still owner, oh well. I'd actually rather prefer that, so I don't really care too much. Personally, I would rather we stick with Roman. I couldn't give a shit. But he thinks what's best for Chelsea is to sell, and is what it is. Is what it is. He's selling, so God knows. I'd rather he stay though. I don't care. Give it to a taxpayer than that fucking Swiss guy who literally just sounds like the worst potential owner in the world. I'm good. At least
it's kind of mad watching Chelsea cringe over who could own their club in it after they've been laughing at the rest of us for all these years. It's kind of mad still. Kind of mad.
It's so fucking peak, but we're here, innit? All you gotta do is firm it. It's so fucking peak.
Well, you know what? Next week, we'll have an update on this, you know what I mean? And we'll move and you might have a new owner. We might know more by then. So we'll keep a postage stamp in that one until then. Now, Super League boys, we all woke up this morning to this rumor that is coming back with a new proposal. Now, from what I gather, it's weird because some sources in England are saying, no, there's no English clubs involved. Like, there's nothing. And then there's European, reports coming out saying the English clubs are involved, but this time Arsenal aren't one of them, which is a bit mad.
Neither are we. So
yeah, which is a bit mad. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, like it's the two Manchester clubs, Chelsea and Liverpool, innit? Tottenham and Arsenal aren't involved this time. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, who knows what's going on where. But the rumours are, guys, this time there'll be 2 different leagues. So there'll be relegation. It won't be a closed league. You will be able to get relegated, come out, promotion, etc., etc. And there's a few other new stipulations that they're saying will be completely different because they've revised the whole thing. They realized before the outrage, etc., etc. So Aaron, I'm going to come to you because you're one of the clubs involved, and I think Lewis needs a breather for a minute.
Thank you.
Bro, we know how mad it got the other day, yeah, when our owners and everybody were at the forefront of trying to get this thing started. Now, if it does come back in this way now, where it will be a lot different and it won't be the way it used to be, where that will be closed off, for example. So there will be something to fight for. You can be relegated, this, that, and the third. The question I want to ask you, rather than is this something you think will be good, is I want to know, do you think that it could be, if it does go ahead, the end of the Premier League? Because I would very much struggle to understand how those big boys would really be able to take the Premier League seriously if they're in this other competition where they're playing against the teams you play in the Premier League to play against, if you get where I'm coming from. Like, it's the purpose of the Premier League now has become to play against Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and all these clubs because you want to be in the Champions League, right? So if you're playing Champions League football against Real Madrid in a league game on a Wednesday, and it's a tough game, and you're fighting to be top of the Super League, are you really going to give a shit when you've got to come back and travel to Burnley for a Saturday afternoon kickoff? Like, bro, how would you feel about this, bro?
No, you're absolutely spot on, man. I don't think any of these teams would care about playing Burnley on a Saturday if they're playing against Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juve, Real Madrid, Barcelona. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. But you know what? Obviously, last year we were all kind of like against it. Some people were for it. Some people were against it. I think in the past year, we've seen so much change in football, whether it's rules, whether it's things outside of our control as fans. I think we've seen so much change that, you know what? I'm just like, just go ahead with it. Just do whatever you want in it, because ultimately, this is the Super League now with a different approach. That they're coming to us with a different approach and presenting it differently. In 2 seasons' time, the Champions League is going to look the same way. The Champions League is going to turn from a cup competition to a league. So maybe this is just a preparation, really, to prepare fans for what's about to come in the Champions League. So, you know what? I'm not really too bothered. I've seen so much change in football in the past year, yeah, that I'm just like, just go ahead with it. Just do it. Just do it. Because whether we say yes or no, it's still going to happen. This is the second time they're coming with this now. And the second time, I believe they're going to succeed when the official approach comes and when they're actually trying to set this and put this in motion. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, KG, I'll ask you this one because we had a discussion about the Europa League and you were one of the people who does have respect for it and think it's a bit silly when people disrespect winning the Europa League. With the second tier of this new Super League not just become like the Europa League, so it will look good at first, but then people will start being disrespectful to that and then nobody will care about that. Like, having this 2-tier system, like how do you feel as an onlooker what that would be?
I'll be honest, I didn't see any of the information today, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I'm more of a let me see it get confirmed and then I can look into it rather than all these rumors that come around, because no one really knows anything about this right now. No one knows if these teams are going to get kicked out of the Champions League or anything else like that. It's just all up in the air. It's a bit like last time, but just a little less chaotic at this time round. For me, I just need to see a bit more information before I can fully comment on it. No,
I appreciate that. I mean, George, as a team who isn't involved in this, so it says at the moment, but was involved before, and just also having feelings about the Europa League and stuff. I mean, where are you sitting on this, bro? Like, if this, I mean, are you surprised this come back round this quick? Where do you feel if you are left out? How would you feel about being left out this time? What are you feeling?
I think what's happened was meant to happen in the sense that last year, there's a reason why when they announced it last year, it was done in the early hours of Monday morning or between a Sunday and a Monday because they knew they'll get backlash from it. So they've tried to choose the quietest time possible on social media. I don't think they necessarily expected the backlash from the fans the way they did with the protests and stuff. So obviously got called off before. But I feel like it's just sort of they're trying to counteract the format of the Champions League. That was the original issue. They wanted to make more money from it. The clubs, it comes down to greed at the end of the day. When you're in a certain position, you always want to be in the next position to make more money. So if you think about it this way, when you're a player, you want to be, I don't know, let's say like a manager or something. When you're in a business, you want to own a football club, you make a lot of money. When you're in a football club, you want to own the league because the league's making more money than the football club. When you're in the league, you want to own the next competition like FIFA or UEFA or whatever. So I think with a lot of these owners of these clubs, they've seen an opportunity to try and change a sort of system where they're looking at UEFA, they're looking at the Champions League formats and saying, you know what, we can change this, we can make it better, but we can make the money because we're going to be the founders. So we're going to have that bread that UEFA are getting or FIFA are getting from a tournament like the Euros or the World Cup, whatever. So I think it's just people trying to aim for more money by creating the same competition as what the Champions League is going to become anyway. They're just trying to get the money for themselves rather than let UEFA have it. That's the thing. I think it's all naturally progressing to the same thing. Whether we like it or not, the Champions League is changing. It's changing to the format that the Super League is now saying it's going to become. Yeah. So it's just a matter of who do you want in charge of it, UEFA or whoever's heading up the Super League. That's all it is. That's all that's going to happen, which is quite sad, to be honest with you, because, again, it's just a money-grabbing situation. I don't personally like the whole changing to the table and then a knockouts because obviously it's just following the American formats of the sports. And you can kind of see a lot. It's going to take a while, but a long way down the line, you could maybe see fans falling out of love with the game because it's just not what they grew up with, not what they love. You'll see a lot of stuff being Americanized. This is all the stuff we discussed last year, right, with the Super Leagues. A lot of these owners that have created this happen to be American owners. And now if you look at Chelsea, if they get an American owner as part of a consortium coming in as well, no doubt it's going to be the same situation there. I mean, our owners act like an American owner with the way we handle business with the stadium and whatnot, rather than the team itself. So I can't lie, I'm a bit worried the way football is going, but it's naturally progressing this way anyway. I don't think there's anything we do to stop it. It's just whether it's going to be the Super League or UEFA that are in charge of it.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis, I'll ask you this. Is everybody angry because it's not UEFA? Like, if it was UEFA putting this proposal forward, someone who we're used to, would we all just sit back and be like, all right, it is what it is? Is the outrage because it's a new entity? Is somebody trying to go against the norm of what we're used to? Like, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, people don't like change in football. Be it any sort of change, like you change the logo, change the ground, change the color of your kit or something. Do anything that's against the norm. Like, people are always going to be against it because they like tradition. They like things to stay the same. But this is the same sort of response the Premier League got when it was first around. To me, when I heard the Super League the first time, I wasn't necessarily against it because, like, UEFA are scumbags as well, for being honest. Like, why do I care about rich people crying? I don't care. But my problem was it was elitist and there wasn't a relegation system or a chance for teams to progress up and down. It was just one team, a league table. You don't get relegated. So you could just have mid-table clubs that just don't do anything. They're never going to win, but they're never going to get embarrassed. It's just no competition. Now, there's a way in, there's a way out. There's no elitism involved in it. If they want to run it and it makes the club more money, go for it. I don't care. Like, football changes all the time. Everything changes. The problem is people don't like change. And if you don't like change, well... You're in the wrong place because football's changing so fast. Football's nothing like it was 15 years ago. You go watch a game from 15 years ago, it's completely different. Setup, layout, gameplay, everything's different. Things change.
I do think as well, even with both competitions, we're probably going to eventually have to allow for bigger squads for all the teams. Because I'm already seeing they're saying there's going to be 100 new games a season in the new Champions League format. And no doubt with the way the Super League's laid out as well, giving you play everyone twice, it's going to be the same thing. The reason they're doing it is more games, more TV money, more money from tickets, whatever it may be. And that means every top team, let's say, would have to play twice a week, every week. So I think there's going to be a lot of problems with players getting injured. We might need to have bigger squads because of that. then, like you said before, what's going to happen on like the actual like Premier League or the home leagues? Are they going to care as much? No, probably not, because you might get like a couple million a game playing these teams every week or something, whereas you won't get that playing a Burnley or a Crystal Palace or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You know, that was actually what my next question was going to be. So I'm glad you did touch on that, because player safety and player health, it's not being taken into consideration at all here, is it? You just said it, bro. 100 more games spread across the new format, and we don't know how much it'll be with this league. But as you said, if you're playing home and away, because that's how it'll run, and say there was 10 teams or 15 teams in this league, that is a hell of a lot of extra games. There'll be no break. There'll be no nothing. So, I mean, Matt, I'll talk to you on that one. Like, player health, is this completely disregarding the people who are the reason this happens, which is the players?
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, when it comes to any type of international competition, you get every manager under the sun that's like, oh man, we play too many games for the season. This competition should be moved. When it comes to the clubs and, you know, trying to protect the players, yes, they're going to feel very aggrieved. And if this does happen and it means, like, you know, more games again, you can only imagine what that's going to mean. But here's the thing, though, Drift. When it comes to, you know, money in football, money is what makes decisions. So when there's money involved, don't get twisted. I hate to say it, you probably will get your likes of your J.W. Henry, Jean Laporta, your Perez, your basically all the top guys at the owners be like, listen, if it means we're raking in this much extra money, don't worry about the players, man. They'll be all right, man. Don't worry about it. As long as they can see money coming in for them and to their club, they're going to be happy. And yes, it's fully disregarding the players, because the players, you know, some players don't even get to have full pre-seasons because, you know, they're playing either in the international tournament or something. Then they come back and they're trying to play catch up. Could you imagine adding this into the equation now as well, bro? Players. Yeah,
I was just going to say, where do we fit World Cup qualifiers in? Where do we fit Euro qualifiers in? AFCON qualifiers? Where do we fit this all in now?
And this is what I was going to say, because, you know, people talk about the what was that? What's that league that everyone was really annoyed with? International
Nations League.
Nations League.
Everyone was furious when people had to play games for that. Everyone was like, oh, what's the point? This league don't mean nothing. Now, can you imagine adding this to it as well? And even though this might have more prestige because it's going to be called the Super League, so to speak, bro, as fans, we're still going to be like, yeah, the competition might sound sick, yeah, like when it's all said and done. But what happens if now Salah picks up an injury playing against such and such? What happens if trying to go for everyone's best players? What happens if Harry Kane gets injured? What happens if
Pogba?
Pogba gets injured. What happens if I was gonna say Rudiger, but he might be leaving. Joking. Kai Havertz. What is it, Kai Havertz? No. That's a bit of a cheap shot. Apology. Kai Havertz. Should I do this one? Might as well. What if Rafinha is like playing at his new club and he gets injured? You know what I mean? It's gonna be peak, fam. So,
I hear that. I mean, I did want to touch on the Premier League not actually really needing this as much as other leagues.
Stephen A. there.
Because you know, we have the brand, and I think the other leagues look at our brand and they love what they see, and they're a bit envious of it, and maybe that's why they're a lot more wanting it. But we'll touch on that another time, because I don't want to go too deep into that now, because we're going to wait until we get real information. And as KG said, let's start getting real concrete stuff, and then that's when we'll like really chop it up. But it looks like it's on its way back, people, man. So brace yourselves. So before we go into the Bielsa talk, Matt, we've got any super chats to get through, bro.
Yeah, we do. Matt George, you concerned about? I think he means Kane, because I asked him in the chat. I don't think he responded, but he said Konate. So he means Kane. So yeah, are you concerned about Kane potentially joining United? I mean, I haven't heard anything, but maybe there's some speculation, George. I don't know.
No, people are just rumoring it if Pochettino ends up at Man United, which could well happen. I mean, definitely could well happen. I don't see why they wouldn't go for him. Man City will probably get Haaland. Mbappe is probably either staying at PSG or going Real Madrid.
Yeah, I agree.
And who's left? Lewandowski could be leaving though, so I could definitely see Man United going for Lewandowski instead. potentially, but he's getting
That's a
old.
Man United signing, 1 year
It's a Man United
at
signing,
the end
not
of his
the
career,
Ibrahimovic,
but he's
the
got the name. It
Cavani's,
is. Yeah.
It seems
He'd
that
be
way.
way better than all the other players they've done it on, because I think they'd really get a tune out of Lewandowski. But it would be a typical Man U by the old boy with the big name in it. It really would.
But to be honest with you, Man United used to buy loads of players from us, all our best players back in the day. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went after him. But it all depends. It literally all depends on what we give Conte and what we do in the summer, and our ambition as to whether Kane stays or not. If Man United come in with a hefty bid,
I felt some pain there, George. I'm not gonna lie, because your tone really went down when you.
I felt like at the end of that sentence, you wanted to say more than you can believe. I felt like
more than you believe. I can well believe it. No, I know how we operate, man. I know how we operate. We get promised a lot. Trust me. So,
Pip in distress. What's going on, bro? No salt, but don't make 1.5 billion an honorary gesture. It's just to fast track the sale because his clock is ticking. And none is buying Chelsea Football Club for 3 billion plus. You don't become an oligarch by writing off loans.
He's worth 12 billion now, and he was worth 8 when he bought them. So his
if
money's
I'm being
growing.
honest, yes, the clock is ticking, but at the same time, Roman Abramovich knows that there will be people out there that would want to buy Chelsea. And like what Lewis said, I don't see it being some type of fire sale where like by next week, like it's done. I could be wrong here. I think he will try and make the best decision as possible and make the right decision. I don't think it's just going to be a case of, "Rah, my man showed me 4 billion, so let me just sell that tomorrow." I don't think it's going to be like that. I could be wrong though. I think he will actually think about it. Because like we've said, all of us, he is a fan. His legacy, because here's the thing. What Roman has done has been absolutely instrumental and amazing if you're a Chelsea fan. Do you want his Chelsea fans to be thinking his legacy could end up being tarnished if he was to sell them to someone who just like literally destroys them? So that's why I feel like he's really going to.
You know what though, Matt? You know why it can go sideways? Because you can be lied to and you can be hoodwinked. Because if you remember, the Moore family adored us, and they thought when Hicks and Gillette were buying the club, they were in safe. We were in safe hands, bro.
Yeah, let's say about them.
Because they were hoodwinked, bro. Because you can make yourself out to be something you're not to get the deal done, bro. So it can also go that way for Chelsea as well.
I don't want to throw shade on them, David Moores and Rick Parry and the man them. But I'm gonna be real, Drift. Them man there, they were good, but
no, but they loved us though. But football was different back then, though, wasn't it? It wasn't how it is now. Do you get what I mean? Bro, but they still loved us. They thought they were giving us to the right people, bro.
They went Portugal to get Samal Sabrosa. They came back with nothing because remember when they kicked up a stink and we went.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, that right outside the stadium was getting a bit scary. So I can kind of understand where they're coming from.
I rate them to a degree, but I just feel like I'm not gonna say their decision or their judgment is the be all and end all. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Mario says, without Roman's cash, Chelsea theoretically are a tiny club. Pre-Roman proves that it's just facts. Prior to that, they won nothing. Apologies, Lewis.
He don't mean that apology.
Before Roman joined, we still had more European trophies than anyone else in London. And pre-1945, we still have more trophies than Arsenal. So, yeah.
Well, he's really hooking it back to World War II and 1. Wow.
Apparently, we've got no history.
Facts are facts, innit? Like,
I love how calmly you just said all of that.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot this week. Nothing can phase me.
I can't wait for them to become this is what we used to win.
Remember when we won the Champions League back in 21? Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Been there.
13-year trophy drought.
Been there.
Promo says scenes when United fans run onto the empty-had pitch. I don't know what's that regarding, people. If I miss something, what's that regarding?
Obviously, we're playing City on Sunday, innit?
You know what? That's what I thought he meant, but you're not.
Damn, son.
And obviously,
if Man United pull off a mad thing,
if we beat them, then obviously that's good for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, if Man U pull off a mad thing, I mean they're not going to, but we'll get to that. Any more super chats before we move on, bro?
Yeah. Edwards, big at yourself, bro, says that European Super League might be a terrible idea, but the new Champions League format is just as bad. When will they learn more football isn't a good thing? That there's enough ready. that there's enough already.
Football already.
There's enough football already.
Mm.
Fully agree that. Like I was just
Do you
saying.
remember
Like,
do you remember the double group stage, guys? That was the weirdest thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? Oh
Wow.
my
It's a
God,
long time
so
ago.
many games.
Yeah.
So many games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago,
foolishness,
man.
bro. No,
Any more, bro, before we move on?
no, that's it. That's it.
I think, hold on.
There's
What's
one
coming?
that's just
There's one
come
that's coming.
through. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Lil Walker says it's discouraging to hear not caring that an owner allegedly supports a war criminal, just as long as your team has money to buy players and trophies. JBH.
Yeah, that's cool. You lot didn't care 3 weeks ago, but it's all right.
Yeah,
What
that was a
else?
bit techie still. That's a bit techie. Obviously, we don't want to get too political.
Man, don't want to get into pull out these people. It's all loving that. And big yourself, Lil Walker. I don't want to get into politics. You know what I mean? Want to get into football. But I hear you though, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, so fair play. But I just say, yeah, let's, you know what I mean?
All right, let's move on. I was going to say to a more uplifting topic, but that depends if you're a Leeds fan or not. Bielsa's gone, bro. He's gone. Even I got a little bit like, upset when I was seeing all the tributes and all the videos and stuff, because I know what that feels like, you know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like when Rafa left Liverpool, for me personally anyway. You knew it was time, but you still felt it, do you know what I mean? I don't know how Matt felt, but that's how I felt when Rafa left. I knew it was time, but I felt it because I loved him, do you know what I mean? So talk to us, man. How you feeling, bro?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I did my post-match reaction after the Tottenham game. And at that point, there's a week to go until the Leicester game. I said something had to change. Something had to change. And when you add it all up, there's only one thing that could realistically change, and that's the manager. There's a whole bunch of reasons why it's gone wrong. And the sacking at this time is ridiculous because this was planned. They had this plan 8 days ago as well. So they were talking to our new head coach 8 days before the sacking too. So it's kind of like if you thought it was going in this direction, why didn't you do it before January and let the new guy get in a few of his players? And funnily enough, guys, whether it's coincidental or not, which I don't think it is, our head coach did work with Minamino at Red Bull, so there could have been something in that signing that they were trying to get from Liverpool.
Oh,
so,
I didn't even know that still.
Yeah. So there is. I think this has been going on for a while. I think they could see the writing on the wall. And as much as I love Bielsa, and it's been 3 magnificent years, this season hasn't been good at all. It just hasn't been.
I agree.
The man marking thing with these players, it's never going to work. It was never going to work again. And it got to the point for me personally, I just couldn't see where the next 3 points are coming from. And we're just going to get killed every week after week. I just couldn't see where the next 3 points are coming. So as much as it sucks about him not being able to leave on his own terms, because I think he deserved that, results dictate a lot. And we cannot afford to go back out the Premier League. We just can't.
Yeah.
So we had to make. So as Radrizzani said, our owner, we had to do what we had to do. And as sucky as it is, hopefully we can survive. And then you can just look back at Bielsa's tenure and say thank you for everything you've done. I still say thank you. I did a video on him. I still say thank you overall, because the way that he transformed this club is crazy. And unless you support the club and realize where we were for so long, you won't get it. You just won't understand where that love comes from. Because I've never, when it happened, even though I was calling for something to happen, when it did happen, I was like, wow, I've never felt this way about a coach being sacked before. Even O'Leary, I was probably too young to really grasp that about a manager. But this one, it was like, wow. And then you see all the videos. He's then saying bye to everybody that's gone to the training ground as he's packing up and everything. It's like, damn, man, I wish you could have just adapted a new style. That's all we was asking. Just adjust your tactics, please. And we probably wouldn't even be sitting here talking about Bielsa gone. But he lived and died by the squad. I mean, look at that. You're looking at a championship trophy there, but a lot of these players are still here, and that's a problem. That's one of the reasons why. So as joyful as this picture is, it's also painful because a lot of these players are still here and they shouldn't be. But that's the stubbornness, that's the loyalty he's got to the players, and I just feel as well the players needed fresh ideas now. I think they needed a fresh voice in the locker room. I think maybe the murder ball and everything had just gotten old for him. And now this new coach has come in. He sounds great. I've got a good feeling about him. And
Is it
just
Jesse
like
Marsh? Is it Jesse Marsh? KG, Jesse Marsh.
Jesse Marsh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
just
think
like
he
with the
played for
Leicester
Red
game
Bulls.
coming up, if Bielsa was still in charge, I'd probably think that we're going to hold another 4 against Leicester. But now the new coach is in, I've got the new manager bounce, so I'm feeling like the players will have that renewed energy. And now it's up to the players now to carry out the tactics, what Jesse's going to set out. And Jesse has already made it clear that man marking is gone. And that's music to my ears. That's all I wanted
but
to
here's
hear.
the thing, KG. Here's the thing, because obviously you're the best person to answer this, because I have seen people talking about this and I kind of get where they're coming from. When you have such a specific style like Bielsa, is mid-season, I mean, you've already alluded to it being a bit of a risk, or it should have been done earlier. The players are so drilled in that, specific way of playing. Is it not going to be almost like being dipped into freezing cold to like change all of a sudden, or do you think it will be possible to change that quickly?
No, I think they'll be able to change because they weren't doing exactly what he was asking all season long anyway. So as much as he was setting them out to do what he was doing, we weren't pressing like we were before. The energy wasn't there. All that high press, and when you lose the press in a system where the players aren't that good, it shows, and as it's shown this season with us conceding so many goals. And that's another thing that he said today. He said that he wants to stop us getting killed in transition, which is again music to my ears because we saw it against your guys, Spurs, Man United. In fact, everyone on this panel who's had a piece of Leeds this season, you've seen your centre backs. You just seen your centre backs just run throughout midfield like there's nothing there because there really wasn't nothing there. Just get killed. I mean, it's like Spurs. I mean, just take Spurs for last week, for instance. It's a theme. We made 2 players that for Spurs fans don't care much about combined for a goal. Incessant. You won't hear that again this season, I promise you. But it's not just that. Doherty there is being marked by Jack Harrison, who's our left winger, because it's a man marking system. So Junior Firpo is somewhere on the pitch wherever right Kulusevski is supposed to be. He's there instead of being at left back. It couldn't work anymore, not with this set of players. And people say if Bielsa had upgraded his squad, he could have still done it. He could have done it exactly. It would be like Liverpool. You guys playing the way you do with much lesser players. You'd probably get killed because you play a high line, but you've got quality to make up for the gaps that you leave. And you've got a world-class goalkeeper. So it's a lot like that. It's very much like that. So yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to it, and I think we've got a better chance of surviving now. I'm much more optimistic now than I was before, and it hurts me to say that because it is Bielsa, but yeah, it's about surviving. Let's survive and get through it. Let's get through it. And also, you know what? Also, I want to see, as much as Leeds fans won't want to hear it, I want to see my players arguing with the refs a bit more. We're just too soft in that way, and it's kind of got on my nerves this season where we're just accepting everything. Meanwhile, Ronaldo's having 2-minute chats. We're just accepting anything. You can't do that. You got to play the game in the Premier League, and that's an adjustment what the fans and these players have got to make.
Yeah, I mean I felt like that for a while about Liverpool. Even we are very soft. We let people kick us around. We don't argue. So I know what you mean. Like it's not a good feeling when you feel like your team are just willing to accept whatever happens, even when it's just a clear injustice. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, I fully get what you mean.
I think you'll be in the Prem next year, but I think it's Brentford that are going to help you out with that. I think they're going to free fall into the bottom 3, and I think you'll just scrape it
as well. I think that as well, and I think Burnley are going to escape, boys. I don't know what you think.
Every single year, but yeah,
every year.
I've got to go up there on Saturday. I'm probably going to draw some bullshit, but it's what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit. I mean, before we get onto the predictions and the fun part, because I want to uplift the show and bring a bit of fun back. I just want to get you lot's opinion quickly on the situation that happened the other day, and just quickly what you lot think of it. Hold on, where is it? Oh, I think Matt might have removed it. Yeah, you have. Matt's removed it. Yeah, no, I just wanted to bear with me 1 second. There's just something I want everyone's opinion on.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh,
It's a disgrace.
No.
It's a disgrace.
Here we go.
Talk to me.
Unbelievable.
Bigger disgrace than that Lukaku offside on Sunday. Someone said
Fixed.
it, not me.
And the crazy thing about this, which I don't get, is if he was offside, it would have probably like calmed everybody down. But the crazy thing is, afterwards they actually released, and even Lampard was told he wasn't offside. So if he wasn't offside, first of all, why did the ref say offside during the game? Which is scandalous. That's like he's just making up what he's doing, basically.
Yeah.
And how do you actually justify that level of cheating? I'm just going to keep it a buck. That's cheating. That is a Sunday league decision where there's no repercussion. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
happened before, though. When we played Tottenham in 2020, I think Lo Celso had a studs-up tackle on Azpilicueta. VAR said no red card, came back 20 minutes after the incident happened, in the middle of the games, and came back and said, oh yeah, sorry guys, it was a red card. We can't take it back or anything. It's gone now, but yeah, it was a red card. It's always been incompetent. Referees in England are the definition of incompetent, so I'm not even surprised by it. It's just shit decisions every single week.
Half of them are from Manchester. Did you see the way the fourth official?
Yeah, I saw that,
was
Matt.
angry when we scored the winner against City as well. It's fixed, man. It's fixed.
Did you see it? I was like, yeah,
that's peak, isn't it? That is peak.
Integrity.
He was the same Don that was fuming when Arsenal missed a 1-on-1 like last year, when he was refereeing the game. I remember Lacazette missed a 1-on-1 and he went, oh, and started sprinting backwards.
When you man scored the winning goal against City, Donny was looking like this.
He actually was. He actually was really, really angry.
Donny was heartbroken. Nah, man, you can't be doing them things there, bro. Like, what's going on with the integrity of the game? But,
and a lot of people think that we will be insulted because it affects us, and of course we are. But I take my unbiased out of it, and I look at Everton, who are in a relegation bout. I own it.
Oh, you don't care about Everton in their relegation bout.
I don't care about Everton. But the point I want to make is because this was the same injustice that happened while Aston Villa is still in the league. Because a lot of people forget this. Goal line technology didn't work when it was meant to, and a relegation happened because of it, or a lack of relegation. And if Everton go down by 1 point, and then you look back at that moment, I can't lie, that's peak. Like, there's more on the line than just, do you know what I mean? Like, with the Tottenham and the Everton.
Drift. I don't buy into all of that because you've got 37 other games to not put yourself in that position.
That is true. But at the end of the day, that moment there could still be the moment, though.
Do you know what I mean? Like with the Villa one, like, Villa shouldn't even be in the Prem. Like, they're here because of a technical difficulty with the goal line last year, which is a bit... And that has completely changed the seasons for the two clubs.
100%. And VAR could have just said, oh, that went in, you know. Who needs goal line technology when VAR could have just said, yo, that went in. Like, it's clearly over the line. Give the goal. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it. But, you know what I mean? I just thought I'd get you lot's opinion on it because we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Right, let's uplift the show now. Let's talk about previews. You know what I mean? Let's get into it. KG's full of energy. He's got optimism now about that coming up week. You know what I mean? We got the Manchester derby. Let's do this, man. So Matt, bring up the fixtures for me, please, bro. Away to Leicester, KG. Let's just dive right in. Obviously, as you said, you've got the optimism now, and I get where you're coming from. New manager bounce and that early kickoff. Talk to me, bro. How you feeling?
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I feel it's a strange game to predict because both teams are just... I mean, we are definitely worse. Don't get me wrong, but Leicester, you just don't know what Leicester's going to turn up. It's bad news that Vardy's back this week. I could have done with him being out just one more week. But I'm gonna side on the new manager bounce, man. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Leeds win.
There you go. Come on, I love the positivity. Let's do this. Come on, Matt. What are you thinking? Leicester Leeds, bro. Score prediction.
Listen, I tried to give Leeds bare energy last week, even though Maybe it was a bit of that. I don't know, man. Me just wanted them to win. I think it's going to be a hard game for them because Vardy back as well. KG already knows it. It depends what Leeds turn up. There's two sides to Leeds. There's that Leeds that where Rafinha is leading them and they're just all in sync and they bury chances. Or there's that other Leeds where it's like they just kind of capitulate.
No,
new manager, though, remember?
This is different now. It's different now.
Yeah, because
and speaking of Rafinha, I think he's even going to get a new lease of life because I don't think he was very happy under the Bielsa over the last month. So you might see him back again.
And I agreed, and I think he was showing it as well. Do you know what? New manager, new lease of life. Do you know what? 2-2. I'm going 2-2.
I'll take that.
I'm going 2-2.
George, what's your score prediction, bro? Leicester Leeds.
I think Leeds obviously could have a much better performance because obviously the new manager and that. But Leicester are a team this year that seem to score a lot of goals, but then also concede a lot of goals. The question is, can Leeds now score a lot of goals against them? With obviously still the main talisman up top, out, midfield and whatnot. So I don't quite know yet. Obviously, Rafinha can play a better game, but are they going to score 3 or 4 against Leicester? I don't know. And I genuinely feel like that's what it's going to take because especially with Vardy back now, I think Leicester can put 2 or 3 or 4 minimum past Leeds. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a high scoring game regardless, but at the moment, I'd still say Leicester to edge it. Sorry, Katie. So maybe like a 3-2.
Okay.
Leicester won their first game of the year against Burnley on Tuesday. That's how inconsistent they've been.
Yeah, they've been.
That's what they need. With the main man up top, back. That's all they need.
I'm gonna go 2-2 personally. I forgot to put my one in. Aaron, what you saying, bro? Leicester Leeds, bro.
Yeah, I agree. Leicester's form is up and down, man. You never know what to expect with them. I think we are going to see a reaction from Leeds because Jesse Marsch is a motivator. I think he'll get. I think he'll get enough out of the squad on Saturday to maybe get a draw. So I'm gonna say 1-1.
1-1. We've got 3 draws so far. And Lewis, what are you saying, bro? Leicester Leeds.
New manager bounce potentially. Leicester are terrible with holding on to Leeds, so I'm just going to say a draw.
Oh, so everyone's gone for a draw except for
1-1
then. Okay. Oh no, so you thought Leicester were going to win it, Matt, right? You've gone 2-1 Leicester, you said, didn't it?
For me, no, I said draw, remember?
No, I said George. I said 3-2 Leicester.
Yeah, George said 3-2 Leicester. Yeah. Okay. I think that's going to be a brilliant game for the for the neutral though. I think Leicester Leeds will be a brilliant game for the neutral.
I agree.
That's what I believe. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Away trip to Burnley, Lewis. Talk to me, bro. It's been a bad week. They're on form. You're clearly the better team, though. Just about scraped through in the FA Cup. I didn't even want to bring that up because how bad your week's been, but that was our madness, bro. Luton Town. I mean, talk to me, bro. How are you feeling about this away trip to Turf Moor?
We make every game against a team that sits deep hard. So kind of accept the same one on this one. We did well against Leeds, and I still think we did well in the Carabao Cup final, but those are always going to be more open games because of the sort of football that you two play. So when you're facing a team like Burnley that just knows how to sit deep, and to be honest, they can press and go forward as well. I'm not going to act like they're just a defensive side, but they're more defensive-minded by nature. We struggled against them the last time we played. We had 25 shots on them at home and still drew 1-1. So I could easily see a similar game, knowing what our attacks are like. They find new ways to miss every single time we have a game. So God knows. I'll go 1-0 Chelsea, but I don't think it's going to be a pretty win. I think we're going to have a lot of those sorts of games this season, but I always go for a win. Chelsea 1-0.
Fair enough. Aaron, what are you saying, bro? Hard trip to Turf Moor or Chelsea going to get this done?
I think it's going to be tough for them, man. I think what's been happening this week is going to have an effect on them in one way or another. You know what? I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea, but it's not going to be easy.
Cool. So we got two Chelsea wins so far. George, how you feeling?
I think this is going to be probably a 0-0 draw. Obviously, you saw last week how difficult Burnley away is, and it just is anyway. What have they got, like 17 draws this year or something stupid like that? So, like, they're not the best team going forwards. Obviously, good defensively, especially at home. But that their course now, Chelsea are going to need Rudiger to probably go toe to toe with him, because I think he's probably the only defender out of the back three that can really handle him. Because, listen, I thought Romero and Dyer would be fine, and they struggled. He is a powerhouse up front for Burnley. So,
I mean, if you want to talk about that quickly, because I didn't want to rub it in, but I mean, after the Man City game, that was ludicrous, right?
It was pain, man. It was pure pain. But it's typical how we've been in the last few weeks. So I wasn't surprised by it. But
did you go?
Yeah. No, not to Burnley. Thank God.
Oh, thank God! If you went all the way up for that,
no chance. I did it a few years back. I had to get up for a 12.
Is Burnley that bad? Away. Everybody moans about Burnley.
Terrible.
Yes,
bro. Worst away day.
London to Burnley it's not pain. Human. And Burnley, here's the thing: it's a shithole. Yeah. Like the whole area, all there is just a big Tesco, a drive-through KFC, the Royal Dyche, and that's it. There's nothing else.
So what are you saying? People in Burnley go Tesco to get their garms and their food? Is that what man's saying?
Yeah, it's them big Tesco's.
Yeah, man.
And just a few drive-throughs, and that's all there is in Burnley. And you remember, you've travelled 5 hours, 6 hours for that. And then, God forbid, you don't get a result and you have to go all the way back.
That's exactly what I did a couple of years back. We lost to them, and Poch got that 3-game ban or whatever because they talked to the ref after. So I vowed to just never do it again. No, it's just not happening.
First time I went there, it was snowing, and my Achilles froze by full time. I had to waddle out of the ground like a penguin.
Right.
And it was a 12:30 kickoff too.
To whip out the deep heat straight to the train station.
There was one time we had to do a Thursday night kickoff. Like I took a train at 11, I got there for 5, 7:30 kickoff, and I got back home for 6 a.m.
Jeez.
Burnley away is no joke. I've been waiting for years for them to get relegated. They always find a way to stay up. Well, that was never flush.
That's the other thing I was going to say as well. We're at the tail end of the season now, and Burnley always find a way to get results to stay up. And I think they're going to do it this time again. So, yeah, that's why I think a draw, to be honest with you. I don't think Chelsea only seem to score with their defenders at the moment. Like the forwards don't really do much. And I feel like Burnley could potentially stop that from happening.
So, are you going this weekend, Lewis?
Yeah. I don't like
I just realized you've literally got this. I'm thinking, what? Like, I can hear the anger because you know what you got to do. Shit, bro. Good luck with that, bro. Bring me back a souvenir, bro. Kagey,
what do you want, some grass?
Tesco noodle.
No. Bring me back an F&F vest or something, innit?
I say less.
Kagey, how are you feeling, bro, about this one?
Yeah, man. It could go the other way, but I just see this being really, really low scoring. So I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea. I think Chelsea will win it, but I think it will be a tight game. I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea. Matt, what are you saying, bro? Burnley, Chelsea.
Chelsea win this for me. I know Burnley will put up a fight as they always do, and they've been on form as well. But I just feel like Chelsea just being that bit stronger. They should be able to navigate their way through this. So I'm gonna say Chelsea 1-0.
Okay. I just want to touch on Newcastle and Norwich results with Kagey because obviously, it does concern Leeds, especially with it being Norwich Brentford. Do you think Norwich? Who do you think is going to win, Kagey, at Norwich and Brentford?
Norwich. I genuinely believe that Norwich will be. Yeah. I mean, Brentford have been stinky for the last couple of months, man. So I think what Brentford have got in the bank is those good performances against the big clubs. So people are just remembering those, but they've been very ordinary. West Ham away as well, they had a good one, but they've been very ordinary otherwise. And I can just see Dean Smith he's going to be telling these Norwich boys, listen, we win this one, we drag these guys down with us and we can possibly move out somewhere, we'll get closer to moving out. So Yeah, I can see Norwich taking this one. Yeah.
Okay. And Newcastle Brighton. How do you think that one will go, bro?
Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle got anything to worry about now. It's I think they're out of it. I can't see them getting dragged back into it because it's not just going forward. I mean, defensively they've tightened up, and I kind of knew that would happen when Dan Burn got brought in. A lot of people don't really know about him, but he was a big part of that Brighton defense. So it was a very, very good signing, as well as the Kieran Trippier one. But he's out. But Dan Burn is a big reason why they've been so solid at the back. So yeah, I can see.
I still think
Newcastle
having Trippier
beating
around
Brighton.
helps them, even if he is.
Yeah, for
he's
all
gonna
that
help
leadership
anyway.
stuff, of course, yeah. And Chris Wood, I mean, is he going to score? Who knows? But I think they'll do enough to beat Brighton, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because obviously that involves you, so I just want to touch on those two with you. And West Ham Liverpool, just quickly, I'll start with you, KJ, and work down. What do you think the West Ham Liverpool score will be, bro?
3-1 Liverpool.
Okay, George, what do you think that one will be, bro?
That actually sounded pretty spot on. As soon as you said, I'll have to agree with you there. I think West Ham recently only seemed to win by like one goal or so. I don't think they've been that impressive in the last few weeks. And obviously Liverpool's been Liverpool. So yeah, 3-1's a good shout.
Cool. Aaron, Liverpool, West Ham, bro?
I was literally going to say the same thing, 3-1 Liverpool.
Could be a unanimous decision.
George, I mean, Lewis, complete the set. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, hopefully 3-0 Liverpool.
Boo.
Okay. Obviously, we'll be chopping up the preview for that game tomorrow, most probably. Stay tuned for that one. So me and Matt will talk about that one when we do that, obviously. And if you could roll down to the big one for me, Matt.
Well.
Tottenham.
Well, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I was gonna be shady, yeah, and say Tottenham Everton. But I'm actually gonna leave the Manchester derby for last, for real. I am. Let's talk about the Everton Spurs one first, because let's leave the best till last, innit? So
yes, relegation scrap this one. Yeah.
Do you know what? Everton are kind of in a relegation scrap for real, isn't it? Like, we got to be real. They kind of are. Like, there's no look. If Leeds are, Everton are. That's a fact, isn't it? Like, real talk.
Well, just quickly, Drift. Just quickly, Everton were temporarily in the bottom three at some point on the weekend, so that shows you just how deep they are in it.
Yeah, it was Burnley not winning, right? It was that draw that stopped them from being.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Real talk. So talk to me, George, man. How you feeling? Because your club is if can somebody say yo? Like, what the hell is going on, man?
I think, look, we're on track for a win for the next one. 6 days rest between. That's perfect. That's how Conte likes it. And we seem to have this win-loss pattern right now. So, yeah, I'm feeling a win. But weirdly enough, and Everton is a team at home we normally should beat, but I think we've actually struggled to get good results against them in our new stadium in the last few years. I think we drew or lost to them last year there, if I'm not mistaken, because it was one of the last, if not the last game of the season. But Everton, I think, have been particularly terrible this year. And because like Calvert-Lewin's not on firing at all on all cylinders like he was in last season. So I think it's a little bit better for us. We've got more time prepared. The way we work, we're going to bounce back from the loss against Middlesbrough anyway. So I do think we'll win, but it'll be maybe like a 2-0, 2-1 sort of win.
Okay, cool. Aaron, rumor has it that you've actually got a special message that Conte gave you, bro.
What I said after the game when we lost to Burnley, it was part of my plan, In Italy, we have our ways to express our feelings when we lose, and that is what I did. And a lot of people in England and the journalists, they take it and they think I am going to leave. No, I am not going to leave. Yes, I said in the beginning that the level of the Tottenham is not high, but I believe that with Paratici, the sporting director, we can improve this amazing team. I am a winner. I have a lot of ambition. I cannot accept that we lose so many games. So you can say what you want, but I believe in my team, and the game against Everton, we will do everything to win this game.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Oh
bro,
my God.
that was
That was too
legendary.
The one that got me was
my
the
days.
ambition. The
Ambition.
ambition.
It's when he said I spoke to the
when he said that,
journalist. When he said the journalist thing, I was done.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, Aaron. When it comes to the impressions, you are a man, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
Brilliant.
Aaron, Patrice Evra, and Conte are so on the ball. If
I
you
was just about
close
to say
your eyes,
Patrice.
you actually believe it's them talking. I don't care. That's sensational.
I love
Oh,
this
my-
game.
No, that's levels, man. That is
No, man,
levels.
you have to say it with your heart. You have to say it. You have to say it like you mean it. You have to you cannot sit there and say I love you. No, you have to say, I love this game.
Oh my god.
That is brilliant.
Oh man, that is legendary. Oh man.
My
But
stomach.
Aaron, yeah, I mean, we might as well just go on to you now. What's your
Oh.
Spurs Everton score, bro?
my stomach.
Yeah, I think I don't know what you guys think, but from the beginning when it was done and announced and everything, I think that Frank Lampard to Everton was a terrible appointment. I think he could relegate them, and if that happens, it's gonna look
He's a bit mad.
very, very bad on Frank Lampard. And I think after that, the jobs he's gonna get, or he might get, if Everton get relegated, I'd fear that he might get another job in the Prem, unless a championship team gets promoted and then they go, we probably want someone like a Frank Lampard. But I think it was a terrible appointment.
I agree.
I
Fully
actually
agree,
agree as
bro.
well.
You didn't make no sense.
Another L for Chelsea. Sorry,
I
Lewis.
disagree.
I think when
Of course you would.
I think
Best
when,
manager in Merseyside.
I think
I wish I
when,
could do a Lampard impression. I swear down.
when
You just got to do this.
it was announced that I can't remember the name of the guy that Everton was meant to appoint before they appointed Frank Lampard. I think it was a Portuguese. Was it a Portuguese guy?
It was Ollie.
I thought it was Rooney, was it not?
No,
When it-
no.
They were meant. They were meant. To,
No, there was. Hold on.
Is it Porto's manager? Am I tripping?
I've got no. it
Conceição is
no,
is
it wasn't
Conceição?
Conceição. It was someone else. Because remember, the fans even went to Goodison and then they put XYZ out, Lampard in. I don't remember the guy's name.
Oh, I didn't even know that. You know.
Wasn't he like a?
Victor Pereira, is that it?
Was it him? I can't remember.
I'm not
who it
sure.
was.
him?
Couple people, couple people are saying that in the
Victor,
chat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, so the fans went to the stadium and done the whole XYZ out, Lampard in, and I think the board gave in to the fans' request,
Yeah, it was him.
which I think was the wrong thing to do. I think they should have appointed someone who's got experience in coaching, not necessarily experience in the Premier League, but experience in coaching. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think Spurs is going to win this one. Despite them crashing out the FA Cup against Middlesbrough, I think they're going to, bounce back. Son and Kane, that duo is unbelievable. And once they get going, it's hard to stop them. And I can't see Everton stop these two. Because it only takes them two for Tottenham to play well, to be honest. That's what I think.
Yeah. Son's form's a bit indifferent though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's
I'll
always
give
been
him
like
the
that,
benefit of the doubt because he's coming back from injury. But yeah, Kane is back to his best. And when Kane and Son are on fire, it's hard to stop Tottenham. So I think Tottenham's going to win this one. I'd say 3-1. And I can't lie, man. It's going to look very, very sticky for Lampard at Everton, which is why another thing I disagreed with was Donny van de Beek going to Everton. I think he should have gone to Palace because it's not going to look good on your CV to have relegation on it. Look, especially a player like him that I really like.
Yeah.
And someone who's got experience. We all remember what he did with Ajax in that mad Champions League run before they got stopped by Spurs. I think it's just going to look very bad on his CV, man. I don't think Lampard is the one to be managing a player that's low in confidence, who hasn't played a lot at Man United. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling the whole Lampard with Everton thing personally. So, yeah, I'm going to say Spurs 3-1.
I've seen a lot of Everton fans already calling Dele shit as well, and he's barely played. So it shows you
that's what I mean.
I mean, to be fair,
we've been calling him that for years.
Another transfer I didn't understand. Like, fair enough, you went to go get game time, but the transfer fee could rise up to £40 million.
That's why he's probably not playing. It's because it's appearance based as well as like position and stuff.
Crazy, man. You have to question Everton's way of doing business when it comes to buying players, because it's not been well.
That's true. I mean, Iwobi's on their wing, and that's a joke. I'm sorry, that's a joke.
Again, another player they paid £40 million for. Like,
that is. Oh my god,
he's horrible.
Mess.
Oh man. That 40 million for Iwobi. What world are we living in, guys? What world are we living in?
Like, I bet Arsenal were rubbing their hands when Everton came in for
that
money. So,
that was a bigger robbery than the Rodri handball. But
oh my god,
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis, I know you're probably looking at the Man City performance and thinking that Lampard can pull something off. But what do you think the score will be in this one, bro?
Everton aren't in the best of form. Tottenham are just Tottenham, really, so you can't really predict them.
Ain't wrong.
I'd say a draw, but Tottenham have, correct me if I'm wrong, a 0% win rate against the gargantuan Super Frankie Lampard, so I'm going to go for an Everton win.
Knocked you out the League Cup last year. Just saying, what?
That's why I said the league. That's why I said the league. We had to spin around that.
Yeah, but I said that, like I said before, man, it's Chelsea. It's not him. We just can't beat you guys for some reason. We just bend over. So he's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about agenda, innit?
So you're going for a cheeky Everton win. What do you think the score will be there, bro?
We'll go 2-1 Everton. 2-1 Everton.
Okay.
Lost your goddamn mind.
2-1 Everton.
KG, what do you think the score will be, bro? Spurs Everton.
It's interesting because Everton haven't been good, but I watched their game against Man City and I thought they did very well. And you just wonder, though, in the position they're in, is that going to galvanize them, or is that just going to make them drop their shoulders even more? The fact that that thing went against them with the handball. So it's an interesting one because you're right. You don't know what you're getting with Spurs, and I would actually say, Aaron, that Kulusevski, I think he's been a real good addition for Spurs. I think he's been that missing piece that they've needed on the right. So I'm going to go with a Spurs 1-0 win. But I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Actually, I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs as well. I think that's about a perfect score. I think it'll be very similar to the Man City game personally, and Tottenham just about having their quality shine through. So I agree, KJ. I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs as well. Matt, just to finish up, bro, before we move on to the big one, Spurs. What do you think the Spurs Everton score will be, bro?
I think. Yes, Everton getting Lampard as manager was just a bad mistake. It just adds to what I think they're going to go through a lot of pain. They're going to go through more pain when they face Spurs. Spurs win this one for me, 3-0.
Oh, going for a big win.
That.
Big
I
win.
like that.
To be fair, Spurs do that though, don't they? They'll lose a game they shouldn't, but then they'll whack up the next team they play.
Oh, this is Everton.
Yeah, I can kind of see your logic there.
This is why Aaron's probably feasting because we got them on the weekend after. So we'll probably get battered at Old Trafford after that.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, they've got to get through the big one. Here we go. Man City, Man United, Manchester derby. Aaron, talk to me. Give me some hope, please. Give me some hope. What are we saying?
So I'm looking at the head-to-head here, yeah, and it's looking all right.
It's good for you lot, though, right? You lot have done pretty well against them.
Yeah, in the league, at the Etihad last season, we won 2-0.
Martial madness.
Exactly.
Massive
And
Coney.
And the last time we won at the Etihad was December 2019, 2-1. So, it's looking good in the league, but we've all seen what they did to us at Old Trafford. To me, the 2-0 loss at home to City was more embarrassing than the 5-0. Liverpool just came and just went bang, 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 bang. City just went, we're going to toy with you guys. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. And I think for the second goal, I think City must have posted it about 100 times on their social media platforms. I think every player, bar Ederson, managed to get a touch and they scored the goal, which for me is utter embarrassment to concede a goal in that manner.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'll take a draw, but it's going to be very, very tough. But then again, we all know how Man City plays. We all know how Pep likes to play. And this could play right into our hands. This could be perfect for our game plan, which is, I don't really like that, but sit back and hit them on the break. But then again, I feel like Rangnick probably has something up his sleeve. I don't think he will be sitting back and hitting teams on a counter-attack like Oli did. So I think we're going to go for it, but I'll take a draw, 1-1. I'm happy with that. But then again, we've got a very busy month. We've got City, then we've got Spurs, then we've got you guys, Liverpool. In between,
I think the Liverpool game's been rescheduled, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, because we went through to the next round of the FA Cup. I think that game's been rescheduled now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we still have Atletico in between, so that makes.
Yeah. You still got a big run. Yeah. Man City, Tottenham, Atletico. That's a hard run, regardless, isn't it?
Exactly. Do you see what I mean? So we still have a very tough month of March, but yeah, you know what? I'm taking a 1-1 draw.
1-1. Okay, Lewis, how do you think the big Manchester derby is going to go, bro?
3-0 City.
Wow.
Just killing all the hopes, boy.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Man United are doing a bit better under Ragdoll, but this is not going to be the same. Still not. It's Manchester City anyway. They haven't been the best form for the last few weeks, but it's a Manchester derby. The fans are going to be up for it. They're going to make sure the players are up for it as well. And yeah, United are good, but they've surprised me so much of how bad they've been this season that I can't really see them get a result in this sort of game. So, yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 City.
Jeez, battering. George, talk to me, bro.
Yeah, I think City are going to win as well, just because I feel like now it's entered into sort of a proper title race. With you guys breathing down their necks, I think Pep's not going to stand for it. Obviously, with the loss to us and then almost draw with Everton, and probably should have been a draw. I think he's going to be having a lot of question marks over the team and just sort of kicking them into gear, especially on such a big occasion like this one. And I'm seeing training videos of Ronaldo pretty much missing one-on-ones today. So I don't know how much use that's going to happen. So
if he's got one more game in his legs, let it be this one, innit? Just one more game in his legs. Come on.
Can I just say something about Ronaldo quickly?
Go.
I'm one of those fans who I was skeptical of him coming back when it first got announced, when the rumors were flying about. And obviously, you got the emotional Manchester United fans coming at you and saying, no, how can you be skeptical? How can you not want Ronaldo to come back? Well, this is exactly why. I kind of predicted this would happen.
Well, we did speak about it right at the beginning. I remember. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I wasn't, obviously the Man United fan in me was like, cool, Ronaldo can come back. It's cool. Prior to that, I'd never seen Ronaldo live ever in a stadium. So that was going to be a first for me. I was happy to go watch him. But even that, bro, when you go watch a player, especially a player of that stature, you want to go and have that wow factor. Bro, I went to watch him and I didn't have that feeling. And I was just like, he's just another player, just like anyone else. Didn't impress me at all. But back to the whole Ronaldo thing and him coming back to the club. I think the Ronaldo project is a complete failure. It didn't work out at all. All.
There's some rumors, Aaron, that City actually didn't want him, and the agent put the Man City buzz in there to make sure Man United fell for the bait. I don't know how true that is, but if that is true, that's a bit mad as well, isn't it? That the agent just literally set you lot up to fall for an emotional reunion kind of thing.
Absolutely, because George Mendes probably knows how emotional Manchester United is, whether it's the board or the fans. And, you know, when these rumors started to fly about, obviously the fans instantly bought into it and they wanted him back. So,
yeah.
And when you have a manager who at the time didn't know what he was doing, I firmly believe in his head, Ollie thought, what? Ronaldo? Fam, I won the lottery. Safe. Ronaldo's going to come back. He's going to score 25 plus goals. I'm going to win the league. And finally, the fans are going to be off my back for those who are doubting me. But yeah, it was never going to happen, man. It was never going to happen. And it kind of makes me sad as well to see him like that. I mean, everyone's talking about the chances not falling to him, but when they do fall to him, he doesn't take them. The one against Watford hits the post. The one against Leeds, 2 yards out, my G. How do you not score that?
That was nuts. I can't even
put it on the plate for you, literally, and you can't score that. What more do you want?
It was a good tackle. It was a good tackle by Strauch, in all fairness.
What more do you want? Like, I think there's a stat going around, and I don't know how true this is, but since Rangnick came, or since he took over, we created the most chances in the Premier League, 160.
Yeah, it is a lot.
We scored less than half of those chances. Like, what more do you want, honestly? So yeah, that's just my piece on Ronaldo. I think it's a huge failure, and honestly, I think he should leave at the end of the season. Go to the MLS. The seasons are shorter. It's less intensive. You can bang in a lot of goals there, marketing, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. You can raise the football levels in America, raise the interest as well. Go there, do your thing. And Ronaldo says that he sees himself play for four or 5 more years. Are you serious, bro? Not in Europe. Maybe in the MLS, but not in Europe, fam.
That's that lack of self-awareness. But if you got yes men around you that always gas you up, this is what you'll think because no one's telling you the truth, bro. Just is what it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see it. I don't see it. But I want him to be sweeting in the car park tonight on the weekend. That's for damn sure. KG, what's your prediction for this one, bro?
Yeah, I'm going with a Man City win. I'm thinking 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 to Man City on this one. Yeah.
3-1. So we got KG with a win. George, you said Man City win as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 1 draw, 3 City wins. Matt, talk to me. Any chance? Any hope Man United can pull something up?
Boy, it's not impossible. And Man United, obviously, I feel like they always play better when they're away from home. Yeah, but you know what it is? If they can kind of replicate what Spurs did, they can do the thing. I just don't know whether they'll be able to do it, though. That's the thing.
They don't have the Harry Kane to be able to do that, though.
Yeah,
who's going to bully up the Man City defenders, isn't
it? They ain't got Ronaldo.
They got players that can hurt City. Let's not get. For me, it's about the transitions. You see, when they do counter, if the transitions are quick enough and they can quickly just play like aggressive football, I think they'll cause City problems. It won't be like, you're going to see Man United get 5 opportunities, so to speak, but they'll get 1 or 2, and it's whether they'll be clinical. So I know something. I'm going to... Is Rashford fit, Aaron? Is he fit?
Oh, yeah, he's fit.
Yeah. All right, let me say this. Man United 2-1. Rashford to score, don't at me.
If I was Man United manager, if I was Rangnick, I would actually drop Ronaldo and maybe have him as an impact player for the last maybe 15, 20 minutes if we're chasing the game.
Yeah.
And I would start Elanga. He's hungry, he's young, he's being effective. He might not be the finished product, but he does look like a good player. He's hungry, he's gonna run. I would drop him. I would, and I'll start Elanga.
Not against Man City. I know he's dropped him previously or taken him off the bench, but in a game like this...
The thing is, Jeff, what you're saying is so true, but you also need the person to bury their chance because they're kind of going to be few and far between. That's why even though I hear what you're saying because Elanga's got the energy and he's more likely going to sit to his task. However, I feel like what Rangnick is going to do, he'll just play a very fast, fluid as he can midfield / attack. And I think that's the way that they'll try and beat them. I think
I'd also start Lingard. I'd actually start Lingard in this game as well.
Jesse, you know.
But you got to get the boys who know what it means. I'd have Elanga on the pitch. I'd have Jesse on the pitch. I'd have Rashford on the pitch. I'd have all the boys who know what it means. Real talk. So we'll see how it goes. But you know what I mean? That's the big one. We got the predictions in, so we will see how it goes. Before we finish up, bring up the prediction table for me, the fantasy football table for me, please, bro. Even though I don't know why we're bothering, because KG and George are just doing a Liverpool and Man City here, and
it's see this.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
So. Yeah, I mean, and if we got any super chats to get for as well, bro, before we finish up.
Yeah, we do. Hold on. You know what? Let me read out a couple of supers as well. John says, marching on together.
It's seen that one a few times.
Arthur Dodger says, United fans, 3 points against City will be massively help you in the Europa League spot race. Is it worth it to help out your pals from Liverpool? And then Scott says, US owners watch their finances. Drifty seems to forget 2 named Kicks and Gillette. Kroenke and the family own 3 teams and have won 1 ship in 20 years for F's sake.
Yeah, no, but that's what I was saying, Scott. They are very business savvy. It's not necessarily about winning. It's about making sure the ship is fully steady. All the adverts are done. All the promos are in. They're brilliant at that. Nobody can talk to American owners when it comes to promo, sponsorships, and getting all that stuff done. No one. They're the best at it. It's just, do they care enough to make sure you win on the pitch as well? Which at the moment, FSG are doing. So my complaints are fully in the box. Like, they're in a box with the key locked at the moment. So there you have it. George still sitting top. KG. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I think me, Matt, Cal, and Aaron and Lewis all forgot that the game was on Friday, and KG and George, as the specialists as they are, they remembered.
Excuses.
So,
Excuses.
You know what I mean? But you know,
George is 1742. You know.
I'm top 72,000th overall.
Yeah. George is doing extremely well. He's doing extremely well. Yeah,
I was up to 50,000 and had a bad week.
No, I'm not gonna lie. This is hurtful.
Bro. At this point, George could probably not touch his team for 3 or 4 weeks, and he'd probably still
win the league.
Try it, George. Try it.
I set my team up for the next few weeks. I only did my transfer though, so I can't do anything this week.
But there you have it, people. George still riding high. You know what I mean? Next week will be more entertaining when we all remember our teams. Indeed. So people, love as always. You know what I mean? Big up everyone who's been in the chat. Make sure you get over to these guys' channels and support, man. Everything will be in the description. The Twitters, the Instas, the YouTube channels. Make sure you get over and support the boys as well. And make sure you hit the like on the way out, people. You know what I mean? Subscribe if you're new to us. And yeah, it's been a good one, man. Big up, boys. I love it when we have a full panel. Obviously, Callum was missing, but you know what I mean? Always love when we got a full panel. And next week, maybe we'll have a little bit more of this Super League news. The Manchester derby could have been a mad one. We might all be happy. We'll see. There might be a new ownership at Chelsea. Tottenham might have pulled off another madness. We'll have to build up to the Tottenham Man United game. We'll be marching on. It's going to be a mad one. We've all got something to look forward to this weekend, you know what I mean? So make sure you catch us same time, same place next week, guys, for the Prem Panel Show. And we'll be back tomorrow. Stay tuned to the socials because we may have a preview in the daytime, but we'll definitely be back at 7 p.m. for our usual Rival Watch and Kopish calling show where, you know, you guys get to come on. So love as always, people. So yeah, if you could take us out, Matt, till next week. Peace.